Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us. I've got Taryn here with me to kind of chat about her injury and experience going along with refined physical therapy. So, Taryn, go ahead and tell me a little bit about what brought you to me in the first place. We'll kind of talk about that first.
About springtime, I was starting to get back into running and I started having some hip pain that after about a month of just pushing through wouldn't go away. So I go see Dr. Jackie every month for chiropractic adjustment and asked her for some advice, and she definitely recommended you for some dry needling. And I was stoked. And after just about a few sessions of that, and I was like, this is unbelievable. And I felt like a new person. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was love Dr. Jackie, obviously, shout out. So yeah, because in some of those sessions we started figuring out it's like, okay, yes, this is getting your pain down, but where's the underlying issue from
Yep.
there? And so
hmm
that's kind of really where we dived in. So kind of explain, how did you feel about this process? What did you feel like was unique about it?
Yeah, so I had never, really heard of dry needling. And so when I came and did a couple sessions with you and started seeing improvements, I was really impressed. And then, like you said, it was kind of one of those things where I didn't want that injury to come back if I could avoid it. And I know that that takes a little bit of finding the underlying cause. So we worked through that and worked through a program to do some physical therapy for me and strengthen those muscles I wasn't using correctly. And after a couple months of physical therapy, I to this, I have no pain in that hip. I feel really good. I have a good baseline and it's awesome.
I love hearing that too. I'm like, man, we got you in 8 weeks. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I will say, and it can take 8 to 12 weeks. That's pretty normal. But you were like, I am done. Like 8 weeks, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So what was really affecting you? Like, what were these problems affecting you in your training and just your daily life? Tell me a little bit more about how that was affecting you then and how you feel now.
Pain was to a point. So I'm the type of person that like it
Oh
when
no.
I push through it, see how far, I can get through it. But in this situation, unfortunately, it just kept getting worse and wasn't improving. And then it became a problem in my daily living, where it wasn't going away at all. I work on my feet, I walk around a lot. So every day I had a little bit of a hitch in my giddy up, and people would like actually notice. So it was really becoming a daily problem, unfortunately. I really want to run a half marathon in November, and I knew that if I didn't get this figured out, I definitely wouldn't be able to do that. So once we got through all of our sessions together, I now have ran up to 8.5 miles. So with
Huge.
no, yeah, with no pain in that hip, just basic long distance aches and pains that go away after a day of rest or two. And definitely can tell a difference in the muscles I use compared to when I started this journey. And I definitely utilize muscles I didn't realize that I wasn't utilizing before. So, and it's
Kind of funny how
helpful.
that happens sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we even did something a little bit different too. Your in-person stuff was actually just dry needling to help with
hmm
pain management, but really we focused on more of that remote prescriptive exercise. So
Yeah.
you could do it at home, you could go to the gym, you didn't have to be in the clinic with me 4 days a week.
Mhm.
So how did you feel like that flow went? Because you would work crazy hours too.
Yes. Yeah, that was the fact that you gave me that option to do this all at home was awesome because like you said, my schedule as a nurse I have every week is different. So I was able to communicate with you at the beginning of the week what my schedule is like. You were able to program. And then sometimes I'd even be like, "Hey, today was a really hard 12-hour day. I'm not going to be able to, get to this." And we just reprogrammed it and worked it on into later in the week or just said, "You know what? That's okay, just do some stretching tonight," or something like that. And that was really helpful because I didn't feel overwhelmed by it. I could, manage the short exercises and kind of work them into my day and my schedule. So it was great being able to do it all at
Yeah.
home for sure.
And even more of that, like, I don't want to say 24/7 access to me, but how did you feel even
Yes.
just
Yeah,
being available.
that was awesome too. I loved how you were, by at the end of every week you checked in, said how am I feeling, what things am I, experiencing this week? Because I do feel like things kind of changed week to week.
Mhm.
Some days I was experiencing more like ankle stiffness or, knee pain or something like that, and you always kind of modified that exercise and stretching plan to that. So that was really helpful. And yeah, it was nice to be able to text you at 10 o'clock at night, even though I knew I wasn't bothering you. I need to get it the next morning just to say, hey, I'm sorry, I could not get that worked in today. And I knew you'd always respond the next day at an appropriate time.
Hey, sometimes I do respond at 10 because I got a toddler, and sometimes 10 o'clock's the only time I get stuff done. But so, what is something you would say to somebody who's a little hesitant to take action on something like this?
um, don't don't wait like I did. I mean, I was dealing with that hip pain for over a month, and it was like after I started working with you and saw the results so quickly, I was like, why did I wait this long to get this help? Just
Yeah.
it's if you're not seeing improvement after a couple of weeks of rest and, then you're not going to see improvement unless you get a little bit of help, you know. So I would definitely recommend doing it sooner than later, especially if you have goals in mind.
Yeah. So if you, a marathon,
Yeah.
lifting, whatever it might be, obviously address it now before it becomes worse later.
Yes. Yes.
Um, no, thank you so much for sharing. I do love your story and your journey, and I can't wait to just keep track of you
Yeah.
as you kind of progress along. So thank you so much for sharing. Is there any like last minute points that you have?
I just highly recommend working with you. It was wonderful and you've been awesome. And I know too that if anything pops up randomly, I can come to you in a second. You'll be able to work me into your schedule and see what we can do to work out those kinks. So
Yeah,
I
I
appreciate
love
it.
that. I love having that relationship with my clients moving forward. So, thank you so much for jumping in, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.